AI in healthcare, it was supposed to be this massive game changer, right? The promise was incredible. Smarter diagnoses, perfectly streamlined workflows, a new era of efficiency in medicine. But if you walk onto the actual hospital floor, you hear a very, very different story. What we're seeing is resistance, clinician burnout, and sometimes even new risks for patients. So, what went wrong? How did this amazing promise create so much friction? Let's get into it. And this right here, this says it all. This isn't some hypothetical idea. This is a real slogan from real healthcare strikes. Trust nurses, not AI. I mean, what a powerful message. It just perfectly captures this growing divide between clinicians on the front lines and the tech being forced on them from the top down. It tells you the problem is happening right now, and it's all about a breakdown of trust. Okay, so let's just lay out this disconnect side by side. On the left, that's the sales pitch, right? Better diagnoses, workflow optimization, more efficiency, saving money. All good things. But then look at the right. That's the reality for the people who actually have to use these tools. Instead of optimization, their workflow gets disrupted. Instead of efficiency, they get burned out. And most worryingly, we're seeing new safety risks and just widespread resistance. So, where's this all coming from? It's really tempting to just blame the AI itself, but the research we're digging into today says not so fast. The problem isn't the code, it's how that code gets made. The issue starts way, way before the software ever gets near a hospital. It's a fundamental disconnect in the development process itself. The researchers use this metaphor, and it's just perfect. The square peg and the round hole. Think about it. So many of these complex AI systems are built in a sterile tech lab, completely isolated from the messy, fast-paced, and deeply human world of a hospital. They're designed without any real sustained input from the very doctors and nurses who are supposed to use them every single day.
And the fallout from this?
Well, it's pretty severe, and it's exactly what you'd expect. You get this thing called techno-stress. That's the burnout clinicians feel when they have to fight with clunky software instead of caring for patients. That frustration leads directly to people resisting the tools, or even worse, creating their own workarounds that can be dangerous. It's a recipe for fragmented care and, yes, very real patient safety risks when the AI just doesn't get the context.
Okay, so that's the problem. It's a big one. But just pointing out what's wrong isn't enough. The good news is the research we're looking at also offers a prescription, a clear, structured way to fix this disconnect at the source. It's a framework called EURAID.
So what is EURAID? Well, it stands for European Responsible AI Development. And really, at its heart, it's a practical guide for building AI inside the hospital, not in some far-off lab. The most important words are right there in the definition: human-centric, collaborative, and developed in-house. It's a total shift in philosophy.
Now, this is where things get really interesting. EURAID throws out that old top-down development model and replaces it with this idea of a co-creation circle. It's not a chain of command, it's a collaborative team. It breaks down the walls between the tech people, the clinicians, and the administrators. And right in the middle, holding it all together, is this brand new role: the AI system owner.
Okay, so that all sounds great in theory, but how does it actually work? How do you take this framework and turn it into a real plan for building AI that clinicians will actually want to use? Well, it all starts with putting the right team together. And this is absolutely crucial. This isn't just another IT project. You have the AI system owner, who's kind of like the project quarterback, making sure everyone is talking to each other. You have clinical experts, making sure it's actually solving a real medical problem. Then you have the users, the doctors, the nurses, maybe even patients, giving constant feedback. And of course, the IT specialists are there to make it all work safely and securely. See? Everyone has a seat at the table from day one. And when you have that team, the process itself becomes so much more grounded. First, you assemble the team. Then, together, you define a very specific problem you want to solve. No more building technology just for the sake of it. The build and validate phase isn't a one-time thing. It's a constant cycle of feedback and testing. And finally, when you deploy the tool, that's not the end. It's really just the beginning of constantly monitoring it to make sure it's still doing what it's supposed to. So when you actually take this approach, the whole prognosis for AI in your hospital changes. You move away from trying to jam that square peg into a round hole. Instead, you're co-creating a perfect fit that everyone feels like they own a piece of.
And this before and after view just nails it. You go from the square peg to a perfect puzzle piece. Instead of technology being pushed from the top down, you create a pull from clinicians who actually want the tool. Disruption is replaced by seamless integration. And the big one, resistance and skepticism are replaced by adoption and real earned trust.
At the end of the day, the strategic value here is just immense. We're not just talking about building one successful tool. We're talking about building a sustainable culture of innovation inside the hospital. When you build tools with your clinicians, adoption goes through the roof. And that directly leads to better patient safety and higher quality care. That, my friends, is a serious competitive advantage. So this all brings us to the one final question that this whole thing really asks us to consider. As we look at the future of digital health, we have to ask, is innovation really about brilliant code, or is it about brilliant collaboration? The evidence seems pretty clear. Brilliant code without brilliant collaboration? Well, that's just a recipe for failure.